What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 100 of the Rise to Glory here at Gibraltar Apex. 100 episodes. I cannot believe it's 100 already. This save, it's gone pretty fast. We're in the year 2028, which makes this, I believe, the second oldest save in terms of date in time of any of my saves. I think only the FC United Manchester save on FM 2013 went on as long as this has. And, well, the Lewis episode last year, we had 102 episodes. The FC United Manchester series, I believe we had 129 episodes, I want to say. So this is coming quickly up to becoming my biggest save ever. And I just want to say, before we begin, a quick thank you, I guess. Thank you for watching the series. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys have been enjoying the videos. Of course, I say that. I know that you have been because you turn up and you watch them. Even when the uploads slow down a little, you're still there. You know, I still get the people complaining when the videos haven't processed. And the likes and comments, they keep me going. And yeah, it really does mean a lot to me, I guess, to know that I've got so many people invested in a safe that I'm really, really enjoying at the moment. So anyway, we're going to get into this episode 100. I wanted to do something special for this episode in the past. The past two times we've got to episode 100, I've done a longer live com. Today, I'm not going to do one uninterrupted because you guys aren't going to want to see me smash the likes of Angels and Manchester 62 FC in the league. Instead, today, we're going to be doing a Champions League triple header. We're going to be taking on Bayern Leverkusen, Shakhtar Donetsk away, and then Shakhtar again at home. So hopefully you enjoy this. Perhaps not the grand episode you might be expecting for episode 100, but I do feel like it's worth emphasising and reminding you guys that with this save, there's still so much left to achieve in it. Episode 150 I don't think is out the question. Episode 200 could still happen. I feel like if we get to episode 200, it has to be like a day-long live com or something. I probably won't do that, but that's what I feel like it should be. Either way, we're going to just get straight into this, really. I've actually joined you guys recording here when I'm not ready. We need to go forward just one more day to take on Leverkusen. Some other Champions League results going on here. Napoli, 2 settings off and losing to Real Madrid 1-0. Interesting result there. Of course, if you missed last episode, go check it out. Episode 99 was against Benfica. It was a good result. We beat them 2-1, of course. Michel with both goals, and, well, he is going to continue playing for us today. Of course, in on loan. Is he in on loan from Leverkusen? I have a weird feeling he is. No, it's Stuttgart. But no, another German team. So hopefully he can do a job for us, of course. 2 goals in his kind of debut for the team, really, in terms of a live com debut. I feel like that's a landmark for players. The first time you guys get to see them run out in action. And is Mitchell in the squad? Probably not, unfortunately, for us. That's a shame. Who's this Alex guy? Apparently I'm scouting him. A goalkeeper. We do need a goalkeeper. People have been pointing it out in the comments. Ludwig Jung, he's not up to the level that I need him to be. I don't think he's a bad goalkeeper, the Swedish international, but we could do better. I do agree with people who say that. And we've got the money to try and bring in players. The issue I've got really is, as you guys have known, and as it's been ongoing in this series, there aren't that many kind of crazily good players out there who are kind of realistic signings for me. I must admit, we are starting to get to the stage now where we can start to attract, slightly better players here. And there's players, that I'd like to look at as potential signings. But at the same time, I don't want to spend all this money I have unreasonably. I haven't looked at the finances in a little while, but just so you can see them here, we currently sit with £26 million in the bank. Our wage budget is £675,000. We're only spending £275,000, so there's £400,000 going spare. We're steadily making money. Last year we made £9 million profit. This year we're up to £4 million profit. We're not gaining money throughout the season. You can kind of see a trend here if you look at our overall balance of during the season it does decline, but you can see that big jump every year with the Champions League TV and prize money. Anyway, let's get into the first game of episode 100. I'm hoping that, this series and this episode particularly is going to just go amazingly. We win all 3 games. We qualify for the Champions League knockout stages. No dramas there, but, well, things are never really that easy. Leverkusen, a very good team in this save. If we just have a look at their team, they've probably got a few regens by now. We've got Fabian Weinsner here. He looks pretty good, the German. 100 caps for Germany at the age of 28. That's slightly terrifying. Out on the right, they've got Gael Pla. Interesting name. He looks like a pretty good player, to be fair. And we'll take a look at one more player. We'll go for number 14. They've got Jean-Jacques Kouakou. Familiar last name, that one. And he's Ivorian as well. The return of Kouakou right there. Either way, just from that quick sample we looked at, it's quite clear they've got a quite good team. Either way, let's get our team submitted. Let's get into today's game. In terms of how we're going to play away from home, we're going to play attacking. The team for today's game pretty much picks itself already. We go with Young in goal. At left back, we go with Hall, of course. A very good player, Jason Hall, 20 years old, American, still developing a little bit. Great athlete. He has some potential, and I'm hoping he's going to start to fulfill it. I feel like his development's been slower than I'd like, but nevertheless, he is our best left back in the club. The next player we have Walter Del Sol, the Italian stallion. Hoping he can do a good job for us. Another player who's been at the club a little while. He has improved, though. And alongside him, we go with the former Real Madrid man, Frigier, the Frenchman. At right back, we go with Marquez, who, he's the new boy on the block, in on big money. One of our big earners, really, on 300. That'd be a lot of money to pay. £32,000 a week. The Argentine, 21 years old, hoping he can put in a good performance at right back. At right mid, we go with Christian Mendes, the Colombian. At left back, or left mid rather, we go with Paul Smith. In the centre midfield, it's JJ and Bouchard. Up front for today's game, I'm actually going to be playing Tuzon, the Spaniard, and alongside him, we are going to go with Michel. And I think this is going to be a pretty good team for us. I feel like Michel and Tuzon, I feel like they could be a pairing that work really well with each other. Michel perhaps slightly more athletic, but Tuzon, a very intelligent player, certainly. So anyway, let's submit our team for today's game. That 2-1 win against Benfica, still fresh in our minds. Of course, Bayer Leverkusen, as you can see here, won their first game. So this isn't going to be an easy one. They do have a very, very strong squad. I'm just going to kind of, try and encourage the players. Unfortunately, I have stressed them out there. Not the best team talk. Let's see if we can confuse them. Well, it's going to be a mixed bag of a team talk. Unfortunately for us, our midfield just didn't really get the team talk. The rest of the team, though, seems happy enough. So I'm hoping for a good performance here. Let's see what we can do. And of course, episode 100, it's a good landmark. What would be even a bigger landmark is, of course, if we could try and get into the Champions League knockout stage for the third time in our history. Of course, we had a bit of a hiatus last year where we finished third in our group, playing instead in the Europa League knockout stages because of that. But I don't know, I'm hoping that we can bounce back this year and kind of get that Champions League knockout stage spot. Of course, worth considering Leverkusen the strongest team in our group, at least in my opinion, and certainly the seedings would suggest that, and it's going to be tough today. And well, Weisner, we looked at him before the game and he's punished us right there. Leverkusen dominating the play early on here. 7 minutes gone, 74% possession. We have done nothing so far in this game. It's been a really disappointing start to the game. And well, Leverkusen perhaps get a deserved goal, albeit from their second shot of the game. Nice build-up play by them here. Walter Del Sol got turned very easily, then missed a tackle. It was a good finish in the end, to be fair, but maybe Young could have done better in goal as well to try and get across to that. Regardless, however, we are going to now need to look, to bounce back in this game. Looking at it, Leverkusen dominating, that terrifies me. And with that terror in my mind, I'm actually going to switch to the counter system. It's quite apparent at the moment, at least, playing on the front foot really isn't working for us. I want us to sit back, try and hit them on the break if we can. We've got some pretty pacey players. And well, defensively, despite the fact we're not having a lot of the ball, we seem fairly strong. Leverkusen only with one shot since that initial goal. And well, it's a game that's been bogged down in the midfield. I think it's fair to say it's 1-0 here. I'm going to tell the players I expect to see a much better showing in the second half. A good response by them there. We did actually get one shot just to end the first half. I'm hoping that following the break, with that team talk and with my voice ringing in the players' ears, they can really step up and turn up for the occasion here. If we could rescue a draw, that would still be a really good result in this game. As I mentioned, Leverkusen, without a doubt, the strongest team in our group. And actually, we've been defending really, really well here thus far. Only 20 minutes left in this game. It's still only 1-0. I feel like we might have to go for it. And well, I've praised our defending, and then suddenly we need to be on the defence because they're bringing the ball forward here. Let's see how we can defend this. Ball up, blocked away, and it's a rebound. And well, the changes that I was going to make are now going to happen just too late, aren't they? Leverkusen, it's fair to say they have turned up big in this game. They've been a big force in Europe, really, in this save. And, well, today they have put us to the sword. There is a reason they're the number one seed in this group. And, well, it's not going to be a historic kind of Gibraltar Apex-esque result here. This is the kind of game where in the past we perhaps grabbed a draw and such. But today, simply put, not happening for us. If we could, not concede more as we concede a third, that would be good. This is not the way I dreamed this episode was going to go. Leverkusen, they are schooling us right now, and well, I'm hoping that goal difference doesn't come into it. I do believe in this group stage it's actually head-to-head result ahead of goal difference, which kind of decides team placement. So, whilst this isn't great, we're perhaps fortunate with the kind of format of the tournament that it's not going to hurt us too much long term. Either way, I'm going to make some changes. We're going to bring in Daniel Martinez, the young Uruguayan. I'm also going to bring in Chris Hull, I think, for Paul Smith, who's been really disappointing. And Tuzon as well, really not impressed. Going to bring in Juan Carlos, who, of course, we signed this year. A big striker, Juan Carlos. Very tall, pretty pacey as well, kind of considering he is kind of more of a target man, I guess, more than anything else. We'll give him a run out here, a chance for him to get some match fitness, maybe make himself a hero and get a goal. I guess a goal in this situation really wouldn't make you much of a hero, unfortunately, as it would only be a consolation. And well, with 20 seconds left of this game, I feel like we've just not been at the races. Leverkusen, by far and away the better side. We just didn't turn up in this game. It was disappointing from start to finish. And simply put, it wasn't good enough. The players looking fired up. They are going to want to bounce back. Shakhtar Donetsk and Benfica drawing against one another. That is probably the best result we could hope for. Of course, we've got Shakhtar now to play. Of course, we beat Benfica in the last episode, so that bodes perhaps well for us if you want to read into football like that, although really comparing results against different teams isn't a very good way to analyse a football match in possible scenarios. Either way, we've got Manchester 62 and Angels to play. You guys don't want to see that. I'll be back again in the second match of this episode, so let's get into it. So we're back, guys. Game number 2 of this episode 100. Not an ideal start. We want to improve that. Before we do go any further, though, I don't talk enough about the national team, so I'm going to cover a few things in the middle of this episode 100. So first things first, Gibraltar 149th in the world rankings. They're currently playing in the new international divisions. I don't know if this is a global thing, but in Europe, instead of you playing loads of pointless friendlies in the next few years, they're introducing this kind of division system. As you can see, lots of nil-nils, definitely lacking a striker, Gibraltar. You can see at the moment, actually, Moldova top of the group because they actually know how to win. And, well, actually, looking here, you can see that, well, Gibraltar, they've not done too badly so far. You know, if they could get 2 wins, they might have an outside chance at finishing top and getting promotion. But just a little bit of an update there. The other thing I do want to cover real quick is a few fan favourites, players who I get asked about a lot in the comments, and I don't recall talking about all of these players, so we'll talk about a few of them and where they are now. Hamid Bar, goalkeeper, Moroccan. We always knew this guy was class. First choice at Bayern Munich. I mean, I feel sad that we lost him for £600, really. Of course, he joined Monaco. Monaco then sold him last year, halfway through last year, for £13 million. Whatever way you look at it, I do feel like we were robbed. He's an absolutely fantastic player. We were blessed to have him for a few years, but still annoying to lose him. The next player we have is, of course, Gary. Now, Gary, a player who genned at the club. You can see he's 24 years old, playing for Real Oviedo. The last time I believe you guys saw him was I was talking about his broken leg, but if you don't know the story behind that, he, of course, went to Qatar, leaving us for £6 million. And while he was there, he broke his leg. Well, I kind of spoiled the story 10 seconds ago. But he was out for 5 months and he really declined as a footballer. You can see he also tore a calf muscle. I believe that was also shortly after joining. So he was ravaged by injury in Qatar and he's now returned to Spain. Currently playing for Real Oviedo in Liga Andalante. He's just not the player he was, unfortunately. It's a sad state of affairs. He's still fairly athletic for a player who's had the injuries he's had. But he's just never lived up to the hype, you know, the hype factor that he had, which is it's a bit of a shame, really, isn't it? Anyway, the last player, in fact, let's go to our best 11s. I'm trying to remember, there's one player who I know everyone wants to see, but I'm just wondering if there's any other players that we should be taking a look at. I need to get to the Gibraltar Apex profile. Gosh, there we go, we got there. And then if we look at, of course, best 11s, of all time, actually. Our overall one actually includes Ludwig Young. I was not expecting that because, of course, the man... Is my game... Oh, we've got lag. Too many seasons. Felix, you're the man I was looking for, Felix. I don't know why I came here to show you him. I just wanted to see if there was any other players, but with that lag, I've missed them all. But Felix, 26 years old, playing for Leicester as their second choice goalkeeper. This, of course, a universe where Leicester didn't win the league. You can see he's actually moved clubs fairly frequently over the last few years, and I have attempted to sign him a few times, and he's turned me down every time, which has left me pretty sad inside, it's fair to say. I don't feel like there's too many other players who have left who are probably worth talking about. I guess actually two more. First one we'll look at is Lee Evans. Assuming we can find him. which we can't. It was Lee Evans, right? I'm not even sure if it was Lee Evans now. This is bad, isn't it? You know, it was Danny Evans. Do you want to know why he's Lee? Because he was a traitor. People have asked me, you know, what do I think of Lourenco and, well, Danny Evans as well? I've erased them from my memory. Not that I'm salty, of course. Danny Evans went to Freiburg. Lourenco, where did you? Well, he's in France now, but he went to Freiburg as well. Freiburg, they are the Norwich City, and we are the Leicester, not the Leicester, the Leeds United. They're just stealing all our players. It's not on. There are a few of our players. He's now playing in Ligue 2. I mean, that's karma, isn't it, for you? Left for the big time, now you're stuck playing in the French League Cup. I hope it hurts. Either way, with that bitterness out of my mind and a little bit of a recap of a few fan favourites, let's get into the game against Shakhtar. Of course, this one at the Donbass Arena in the Ukraine, so I'm hoping we can get a good result here. In terms of how we're going to line up for today's game, I think we're going to go fairly attacking. The two games you missed against Angels and Manchester, Manchester, that's what we should call them because there's only one Manchester in Gibraltar. We beat Manchester 7-0, I think it was 7, and we also beat Angels 5-0, so two good results there. In terms of our team, I'm not a fan of this selection by our assistant. Let me sort this out real quick. This is not the team that I was actually planning on playing for today's game. I think that's the team I wanted to play. Was it? Where's Marquez? Oh, he's suspended. Of course he is. He got a few too many yellow cards. He's been a naughty boy. So this is the team for today's game. The back three, kind of centre-backs and the goalkeeper are the same. Hall moves over from the left-hand side to right-back. That does mean that Jay Marriott, resident... What would I call Jay Marriott? He's kind of the resident joker of the team. He's the guy who always seems to just do weird stuff and get sent off when I don't need him to. I'm hoping he's not going to be making any jokes today. He's not a bad left back and he'll do a job for us, I imagine. In midfield, we go with Smith, JJ, Bouchard and Mendes. I believe that's the same team as before. Up front, a little change. Taking off Tuzon, we're going to play Van Dijk to start the game. The Dutch player out with a little bit of an injury last game. He's back. Played in the league game that we played recently against Angels, so he's got a bit of match fitness back, hoping he can put in a good performance today. Either way, let's submit our team for today's game, get into this. It's going to be a tricky game. The pundit was saying it's going to be a pretty tight game. I think Shakhtar, you know, that home advantage, you might edge them if you were a pundit. However, I believe in my boys. I've screwed up the team talk again, but only one midfielder this time confused. Unfortunately for us, it's JJ again. It's becoming a common trend, him in the midfield being confused. But yes, let's see what we can do here. We're taking on Shakhtar Donetsk. I don't want to say we're looking for a miracle. This isn't a miracle result if we beat them, but we do need to be at our very best, something which we certainly weren't in the first game of this lifetime. I'm going to stay on the attacking mentality. I want to go toe-to-toe with Shakhtar here. You know, I want to give them a game. I don't want to park the bus and sit back. I don't feel like that has served us well when we have played on the counter in Europe. Of course, away from home, it's not kind of our proving ground, I guess. I feel like when we've played at home, that's where we've really shone in Europe. And these two early away games that we've had, not played into our hands, although that is a nice clearance there. Can we break away now? I thought Shakhtar were going to be the team on the attack, but we might have a chance here. Mitchell, he scores. What a counter that is. First shot of the goal game on target for us. First shot on goal. It's a first goal as well for Mitchell. His third in the Champions League, and what a start that is. 30 minutes in. All came from Shakhtar committing a few men forward. In the end, Van Dijk breaks through cleanly. Mitchell loses his two centre-backs. Probably shouldn't be getting left open like that on the breakaway. But regardless, he scores. He makes it 1-0 here. And well, despite not being at our best, perhaps being second fiddle, I guess, to Shakhtar Donetsk in this game, we have got off to the ideal start. We make it 1-0. And well, with 7 minutes left until halftime, if we could hold on to this result, that would be pretty big, you know, going into halftime. Would make our team talk that little bit easier. You know, I can motivate the players. And it does look like we are going to get into halftime at 1-0. So that is a really good result. Going to tell the players, I'm pleased with how it's going. Keep it up. They are loving it. Jode Bouchard on a booking. That's perhaps a little bit concerning. General fitness in the squad looks fairly good. Bouchard perhaps struggling a little bit with his condition. Perhaps a player we might look to sub off later on in the game. We've got a few options now in the midfield that we can bring on for him, of course. Of course, Martinez, the young Uruguayan, an option. Either way, we might score from kickoff. Mitchell probably should have done better there. That was a clear-cut chance. 30 seconds into the second half. It was atrocious defended by Shakhtar Donetsk. Unfortunately for us, we could not find the target. We could not find the goal. Mitchell, you would have put your house on him to score. We still might have a chance. Unfortunately, Mendes, the right midfielder, dispossessed there, and Shakhtar Donetsk get the ball away. Not a convincing start by them. Worth noting, Shakhtar yet to have a shot on target, and well, it's us on the ball again. However, Del Sol pulled a hamstring. This could be problematic. He's not going to be able to chase back there. That pulled hamstring really hurting him. Fortunately for us, Jonatas, the player there, hits it wide. And well, now we can make a change. And it's going to have to be Ramadan Mustafa who comes into the side. A player who I've been given a chance in the league and he's definitely improved. And his big weakness has been his speed. And that is something that he is getting better at. He is getting quicker, the Egyptian. He has that international experience. I think he's a good match to come into this game here. I think he's a good sub to have. Definitely at 20 years old, a big talent really in Egyptian football with 20 international caps already. He's played on a big stage before. This might be the biggest for him in an Apex shirt, but I'm confident he can step up to the mark here. Frisia not had the best game at centre-back, it's fair to say, and well, Young collects the ball there. I was wondering if we were going to have a horrific situation. Worth noting, just realised this, familiar name out on the right-hand side. Oh, we hit the crossbar. I'll talk about the familiar name in a second. There is a familiar name that I didn't recognise, and it's over on the right-hand side for Shakhtar Donetsk, and it is Cafe. Our former man, you know, we had him on loan from Valencia for 2 years. He's gone off actually for Sergi Samper, so he's not going to punish us today. But a player we know about, we knew what to expect from him, and perhaps we should be scared. And perhaps it should be 1-1. Shakhtar Donetsk with a clear-cut chance there. Hit wide, however. I'm going to make a change here. I'm actually going to bring in Carlos Andres Moya. Or Mora in for Bouchard rather than Martinez, who I mentioned might be a potential option. Mora's a little bit better rounded off, I think, as a player. A bit more of a box-to-box player, and I think we do need a more defensive option in midfield, a defensively capable player. And, well, we might be able to hit them on the break here, looking to make it 2-0. Smith, back post, Mendes. He shoots and he scores. The young Colombian with the goal. His 7th of the season. It's 2-0 here against Shakhtar. They have had 1 shot on target all game. We've had 4 clear-cut chances. We've taken 2 of them. A great little counter-attack there. Smith, great ball to the back post. Mendes with the initial shot. Keeper saves it. It's on the line. Who's going to get there first? Well, Mendes is with the rebound. Makes it 2-0. And, well, with 12 minutes left, I don't want to say anything too prematurely, but that is probably game over. Maybe we can get another Frisia with a chance there on the near post from that corner. Hits into the side netting, unfortunately for him. But that is going to be all she wrote for this game. 2-0. Fantastic performance by the boys. A great way to bounce back after that 3-0 defeat. We weren't expected to go into this game and do a lot, and well, it's fair to say that Shakhtar were largely disappointing. However, that is still a great little performance by us right there. To win that game 2-0, and well, to put ourselves in a really good position actually in the Champions League group. You can see we're on 6 points. Shakhtar and Benfica both on 1 point each. Leverkusen beating Benfica. A win in our next game and a Leverkusen win, I believe would get, well, it would guarantee us a spot in the knockout round, which would be absolutely huge for us. Either way, we've got 1 more game to play in this episode 100. It's going to be another game against Shakhtar. It's going to be at home this time, and of course it's going to be at the Space Park. Hopefully we can get a good result there. I will join you guys for that in just a second. Okay guys, we're back again for the 3rd and final time this episode. I'm hoping to round off this landmark episode with a win. Hopefully we can win against Shakhtar. This is, I believe, our first game at home in this commentary, and it feels fitting, you know, to come back to the Space Park in episode 100 and, well, hopefully get a good performance here. In the league, 2 more good results. I think it was 4-0 and there was another one. 4-0 and 6-0. There you go. I mean, when you score as many goals as we score, it's easy to lose track and lose count. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. Either way, in terms of our team for today's game, I'm just asking my assistant, but I don't agree with him. We're going to stick with, I think, Mitchell and Van Dijk up front. I think that worked really well last game. Unfortunately for us, Paul Smith out suspended and Walter Del Sol out with an injury. Of course, the injury sustained in that last match. It does mean at left midfield for this game, we go with Chris Hall, a very talented left midfielder. Of course, we signed the Englishman this year rather, from Stoke. For £3.7 million, a big fee really paid for him. Hopefully he can step up in this kind of game and really show us what he's all about. My assistant again doesn't want to play JJ in defensive mid, but I do want to play JJ. Martinez is a very good player, but JJ just a better player defensively, at least in my opinion. You know, Martinez here, good player, but he lacks that defensive strength that I think we do need in Europe, and I'm hopeful that JJ can offer that to us. But I think Martinez is definitely a player who will probably come on in this game. Naturally, I might start him out on the right-hand side. I think that's an option. I think we'll give him a go there. You know, Mendes did score in the last game. He'll start on the bench, but we'll mix things up there. Into the defence, it's kind of our standard back four with the exception of Mustafa, who we, of course, had to bring in for Walter Del Sol. He kind of maintains that spot due to the injury. In terms of the rest of our team, Mitchell and Van Dijk up front, Lung in goal, there's nothing new here. On the bench, we've got a few options here. I'm going to bring in Datino just for Romero. I don't like to have a goalkeeper on the bench. We lack a left midfielder. If we need one, we now have one. There's also part of me that kind of feels like Jay Marriott might be worth just sticking on the bench as an option. But at the same time, we already have Hernan Sanchez and we can move our kind of defence around. So you know what? We'll stick with what we've got here. Hopefully we can get another win here against Shakhtar to round up this episode, of course. Started off on a bit of a low. That last game, a really good result. I'm hoping for, well, another good result here, really. We've beaten Shakhtar away. Today I'm hoping we can beat them at home. And let me tell you now, episode 100, not memorable for the team talks. They've not been great. We've now confused Marquez and Young, which is a little bit of a problem. However, hopefully they're not going to be tested too much this game. I want this to be a game where we play on the front foot at home and hopefully we beat Shakhtar with some style. Of course, that never happens in FM as they have a chance after just a minute. It was a very good opportunity as well. Surprised it wasn't a clear-cut chance. Young, however, with a really nice saving goal. And, well, we still need to defend. Cafe, number 7, watch out for him. Remember his name. He is a familiar friend of ours, and if he scores against us, I might be a little bit heartbroken. I'm going to be completely honest with you. If Cafe was to score against us, I might never drink tea or coffee ever again. I might have to cut them out completely. I just wouldn't be able to go through with it, I don't think. It would remind me of him. There'd be tears in my eyes. Either way, I'm talking about crying. We shouldn't be crying. It's 0-0 here, although we do have another set piece here to deal with, and we've not dealt with this one. Nestorenko with the goal makes it 1-0, and it's a set piece goal. You cannot concede set pieces. It's something that we did really frequently early on in our kind of European expeditions. In recent years, I feel like we've been quite good when it comes to defending set pieces, but that right there is a blast from the past, and it was a blast. It went straight into the goal. A nice finish there by Shakhtar, and well, they find themselves 1-0 up in a game that you'd have to say early on at least they are the better team in. Last game against them, they turned up, they had chances, but they didn't hit the target. They didn't do a lot with them. This game, 4 shots, 4 on target. Perhaps something worth being a little bit wary about. Might have to look to make some changes in order to really help ourselves this game. Defensively, it's been a poor game, although in truth, looking at the ratings, just our entire team has not been performing great, particularly Marquez and Chris Hall, the 2 big earners really in this side. 2 players who came in. Marquez didn't come in for a lot of money, but he's on big wages. Hall a little bit of the opposite. You'd expect them to be turning up in this game, although that's a good tackle there by Marquez. It's still only 1-0. We are on the attack as well. Jason Hall on the overlap, and Mitchell is there near post. The Hall partnership down the left-hand side. If you have 2 Halls on the same side, does that make them a corridor? Answers on a postcard. It's a nice ball in. Then Jason gets the ball in and Mitchell just darts to the near post. We've not had many chances in this game, but Mitchell scores another. The loanee, of course, from Stuttgart, looking like he could be a valuable player for us over the next 2 years. A player who I brought in due to lack of striking options. And, well, he's proving to be a very, very good striking option up front for us, particularly in these European games, getting so many important goals for us. And what it looks like at the break, it's going to be 1-1, which is not a bad result. It's not a great result, but it's something we could certainly, come away from happy, at least at half-time. I am going to be giving a bit of a shouty team talk to our players, though, because it's not been good enough this game so far. Players looking fired up. I'm also going to tell them I've got faith in them. JJ on a booking is a little bit concerning, just because he is a little bit of a nutter and a little bit of a liability, and he is looking nervous as well. Martinez at right mid has had a really poor game as well. I think for now, I'm going to take off JJ and bring on Carlos Andres Mora. And we'll go with that one change. However, I might bring in Mendes at right midfield, the Colombian, because, well, simply put, Martinez, he's not had a great game for us. He really hasn't. A 6.4 is pretty poor indeed. Who knows? Maybe he can really step things up in the second half. If we could hold on to a 1-1, that would be a pretty good result. However, given our record at the Space Park, this is the kind of game traditionally where we've gone on and won. That said, we can't look at the history books as kind of justification for us to do well. We do have to turn up and play well here and defend well here as they're on the attack. Young with a nice save. A clear-cut chance for Shakhtar, their 5th shot on target of the game, but only their first clear-cut chance this time, however. Young holds on to it and, well, he keeps the goal kind of score or the goal score line at this moment at 1-1. They're on the attack again, however, Shakhtar. They have been really good, and Bouchard is going to get sent off, and I knew that was going to happen. I took off one of our centre mids. I rolled the dice. I took a gamble. It hasn't paid off here. In terms of what I'm going to do with the team, I'm going to move Van Dijk to play right midfield attack for us. I'm then actually going to bring in... Oh, this really screws up my plans because I was going to bring in Mendes. I guess Mendes is going to have to play centre mid. I mean, it's not ideal, but I think that's the option we're going to have to go with. I'm going to actually swap around our centre mids here. And I'm going to play Van Dijk on inside forward attack. We're gonna have to try and make something happen here. It's not going to be easy. You know, we are going to play fairly, not defensively, but a little bit more conservative now at this point. We can't afford to kind of throw a load of men forward. We really now need to play for the 1-1. And, well, it's fair to say that not for the first time in this series, we find ourselves a man down in Europe. It's a common theme. Hopefully the remainder of our players on yellow cards can have slightly better discipline here. We still do have one substitute up our sleeves. But we really have shot ourselves in the foot here. At 1-1, this is going to be really difficult to get anything out of. Shakhtar, they've been perhaps on top in this game, and now that we're a man down, expect to see them exert their dominance. They have a chance here. Young, what a save, my son. That is a great save by the Swedish beast between the sticks. He dives to his left-hand side, collects the ball. And we have 20 minutes left to hold on here. I've switched to counter. I've not done it soon enough. If they score now, I'll eternally be in regret. Can we get men behind the ball? Cafe to Korea. Blocked away well. Fernandez into the box. Someone get it clear. Hull does that. Now can we counter? We can't. It's a tactical foul taken by Rabi or Rabe. I don't know. Anton's on a postcard how to say his name. It's 1-1. 10 minutes left. We're going on to the counter-attack. But there's another chance. Hopefully it's us. Hopefully it's us, a man down, scoring a memorable goal. However, let's not get carried away with ourselves. We've been behind in this game. Although that's a ball to Chris Hull, who's got to do better. He's got to do better. It's a fantastic ball by Mitchell out onto the left-hand side. We're not going to have many chances. Chris Hull, you've been awful since you've joined the club, son. We paid a lot of money for you. You can come off for Totino now after that miss. The young Brazilian going to get a chance. I've given him a few games in the league. It does look like, however... We're going to hold on to a 1-1. Now, not the craziest result, but after 4 games to win 2, draw 1 and only lose 1, we're in a reasonable position here and we still should do quite well. But we do need to just defend for our lives here to end the game. The ball comes forward. Back to Fernandez. I don't think that this current result is enough to get guaranteed knockout stage status. I might be wrong. I've not done the maths, but that is... It's not great. I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy with that performance out there today. We go on to 7 points. You can see here, actually, Benfica are only 3 points behind us. I do believe we have them in our next game. So that's going to be a really big match for us. Of course, that will be coming up in the next live comment. Indeed, that is our next game away from home against them. So something to look forward to there, I guess. Either way, guys, thank you for watching this episode number 100. I do hope you guys have enjoyed. I'm sorry it's not a super special episode 100. I feel like there's so much left to do in this save that it wouldn't be worth it in some ways, but also the fact it's just the way things have worked out. But a triple header, 1 win, 1 draw, 1 defeat. It's not bad. It's not great. Hopefully we can get that spot in the knockout stages in the next episode, because I do not fancy it going down to the wire and taking on Leverkusen to end the group stage. So yeah, as I said, thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, smash the like button. If we could hit 1,000 likes, that would be crazy. I doubt we can do it, but prove me wrong. If you got to this point in the video, let me know your favourite moment in this save so far. I'd love to hear them down in the comments below. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.